Welcome to WebStylePress. If you are new here, consider subscribing and hit bell icon. Centering a div, centering a piece of content in a div, horizontal and vertical center alignment. Center an element vertically. Center a div vertically, and centering or vertically middle alignment is an interesting topic that you will have to master as a front-end developer. It's so common that in a day-to-day front-end activities, you will have to deal with it often. In this video, I am sharing few easy ways to center content in a page or in a section. Depending on requirement, you can center any item with CSS by using these different techniques. Techniques that we will use include table cell, positioning, flexbox, and grid. By the end of this CSS tutorial, you will be comfortable in playing with center alignment of items. I have a simple HTML page and CSS file named as custom.css is linked with it. We will write our CSS in custom.css file. Bootstrap CSS is also linked with my HTML document. We are using Bootstrap for just basic styling. So let's start with table cell. For table cell technique, I will need a table cell and an inner content. We will center align content inside table cell. Let's write our HTML class TBL and then TBL dash cell, and inside that we will have a div with class content. So TBL cell and content. This div will be centered align vertically and horizontally. And here's our CSS. TBL display table, then TBL cell, table cell, text align center, vertical align middle. Then we'll have our content. Refresh the page, and this is content div that is perfectly center and middle aligned. This content div. So you have to use this display table, then its inner div, that is display table cell, and then there is content. And for table cell we will use text line center and vertical line middle. If I use text line left, save, as you can see now it is aligned left. And if I remove vertical align middle, save, as you can see this is necessary. So TBL, display table, is kind of container, then table cell, that will be display table cell, and then these two properties are important. Then there will be the content inner div, that will actually be center and middle aligned. This is how you use table and table cell to center a div. For our next example, we just need a wrapper and inner content. Inner content will be center aligned. Let's create HTML for that. I will comment this. Class main, and then this is the inner div that will have class content. Main and content. Let's style that. I will comment this CSS as well. Dot main dot content border is 3, height 500 px, width 100%, and then background color. I will need these properties for main, and then for content width 400 px, I will need that height auto and padding 15 fine, border radius 3 is alright, background color, and then color. I will need these properties for content. Save, refresh, and now we have got these. This is main with height 500 and width 100%. And inside main we have got content, that is width 400, height auto, and we have to center it vertically and horizontally. We will use position here. Let's center align content by using positions. So this will be main, and content will be our generic CSS. And to use position, for wrapper we will need position relative, and then for content we will need position absolute. Save. And then with that, left 50%, and then top 50%. And as you can see, this content is, although has got left and top 50%, but it is not in the center. It is not in the center. That is because it is kind of center, but its left corner and the topmost corner is at the center. We will have to deduct half of its height and width to make it in the center. And for that, we will use transform, translate, and this is how we will deduct half width and half height from this content, from its position. Save, refresh, and now it is in the center. For positioning, absolute div becomes a kind of a layer and it needs a wrapper container. Absolute div will look for outer relative div. To adjust its position to. Absolute div will be positioned according to relative div. Left 50% and top 50% make absolute div in the center, but anchor point for absolute div is left and top most corner of it. To make it absolute center, we will have to deduct half width and height from absolute div. We achieve it by using transform, translate, CSS property. Translate minus 50% will deduct half width and height from absolute div and it will become perfectly centered. And this is how we use position to make a div in the center. Now I will comment this code and we will use Flexbox now. Save, refresh, again main, and then content. So for main, the wrapper content, we will use display flex to make it Flexbox. Align items center and then justify content center. When we use display flex at the main, it becomes Flexbox, and then this wrapper is automatically then its flex direction is raw, and then it becomes column. Inside the content inside it becomes a column. This is raw, this is column. When we will use align item center, then it becomes vertically centered. To make it horizontally center, we will use justify content center and it becomes center. And we do not need content here. We do not need to add any CSS to content, to inner content. This main will handle everything, and this is how you use Flexbox to make a div vertically and horizontally centered. This was Flexbox. Now we will use grid. I will comment this, and for grid we need to use display grid for our wrapper div. This main is now grid, and for the content we don't need anything. We just need one more property for this wrapper, and that is place items center. Refresh, and as you can see, it is perfectly centered vertically and horizontally. So just use display grid and use place items center, and that's it. As you can see, grid method is most simple method to align content in center for the given outer container. Let us know which method do you prefer for center alignment of content. That is it for this video. Give this video a like, subscribe to channel and press bell icon. This will help the channel and motivate me to create more videos. Stay tuned and I will see you in the next video.